Hey there, Sarah with Next Gen Medium. Sound might not be great with this one, but I didn't want to wait to do it because my microphone's at home, and home is going to be crazy town today. So, might as well do it now while I got a little bit of time and quiet. So, yeah, I'm a psychic medium intuitive. I've discovered this 3 years ago, but I have come to believe in my truth that everybody has these skills, just we're not conditioned to utilize them, and for many different reasons. But I believe I've always had these abilities, and I believe everybody has these abilities. They have the potential to use these abilities. So what I like to do is, first of all, put the message out that I think you're perfectly capable of doing these things, but also have you see them for yourself. Cross that threshold and start playing with them. So I like to go to Reddit and see what kind of questions people have on Reddit and see if maybe I can add my pieces of truth in there. Maybe something that resonates so you understand it's not such a far-fetched idea that you too could have these abilities. And in fact, I believe you use them in a lot of ways and you don't realize it. But let's go to the questions, see if this is a question for you. me, going to the subreddit of spirituality. Okay, going to the subreddit of spirituality. The headline says, how do I get past the phase where I know what I need to do to actually turning this knowledge into results? Ooh, I'm already getting some ideas here, but let's read what this person wrote. I'm aware of my bad habits and mental chatter. I catch myself in the moments. I feed into my thoughts, and I know how I should be thinking and doing in order to be happier. I read about it, watch videos, I understand it, but I still feel stuck at the same place mentally and emotionally. Okay, so my question is, for those of you that are further along on your spiritual journey and see a change in yourself, what did it take to get there? What practical advice can you give me? I love this question because this is something I think about a lot. I mean, I think for me, when I transitioned into a more spiritual person, it was getting to know my soul abilities, the psychic, medium, intuitive stuff. To me, that stuff showed evidence of a truth. Did I accept it right away? No. It took me months for me to see the evidence and for me to finally be like, okay, I think I need to give in to this impractical idea that I can gain information using abilities that a lot of people think are fake. And so it took time to have experiences. And one of the things that I notice when it comes to people either getting into spiritual stuff or getting into specifically seeing their psychic and mediumship abilities for themselves, maybe not even recognizing that intuition is a huge piece of it, like foundational piece, is you can read about it and you can watch the videos and you can intellectually understand this stuff. But the most important part of the whole journey is finding your own truth, and it takes having your own experiences and doing that. I think being able to, for this person in particular, being able to catch yourself in the moments I feed into my thoughts, being aware of bad habits and that mental chatter, I think that is a huge step in the process, because in order to find truth, you do have to step out of your logical self, but also your emotional self, and look at it objectively. And so the fact that you're doing that tells me you're already in that process of getting to that next step of applying. Now, one of the difficult things is allowing time to pass and being in the moment and having your experiences. So, you know, I'm going to recommend to you what helped me in my journey was trying out my psychic medium abilities. And I think with that, it goes beyond reading what other people have to say about this stuff, and it becomes a truth you gain on your own. We're so used to people telling us what the truth is. In some cases, we're capable of seeing it for ourselves. We're also capable of seeing it for ourselves, but being told it's not what it is. So that's where we start aligning with our true selves, when we are able to distinguish what our truth is. And it takes experiencing to know what that truth is. And for me, it was diving into, am I a medium? Is this for real? And quite simply, one meditation kind of changed this for me, in which I sat, I opened up to whatever was going to come through, and it was my husband's grandfather who passed a few years back at that time when I did that meditation, and I just allowed the information to come through. A lot of people would be like, well, I'm probably just making this up. And in the time of doing that meditation, I'm sure that was in my brain of, I'm imagining that he's here, and I'm imagining that he's giving me this information. I'm imagining that he's flipping a coin in his pocket, and I'm imagining that it's a foreign coin, and I'm imagining that there's a cat, and I'm imagining that its name is Dusty. And like, these are all pieces of information, but we can also view it as figments of my imagination, right? But what if there's truth in what's coming through? So I think for me, an exercise in finding truth in my abilities brought me to a completely different reality, but also acceptance of that, going beyond your logical understanding. And understanding logic means understanding the boundaries that you put yourself in, the boundaries that society limits you with, that you adopt for yourself. Telling people that I was looking into psychic mediumship was really difficult for me to do. I actually put a post up on social media. I wrote it, I sat on it for a week, and all I could think about was, what are people going to think? They're going to think I'm crazy. But what was most important to me was knowing the truth. And so I set ego aside, and I put it out there, and I said, hey, if anybody wants to help me, I want to do some readings, and I'm going to feel like a fool, and I'm probably going to get everything wrong, and I just need to know if this stuff is real. I just need to know. I need truth. And whatever came to be, that was the answer. Scary. I know. I was there. I've been there. I continue to be there. But that would be my recommendation. You want to feel it? Well, you got to put yourself out there to feel it. And I think that's practical. Realizing that you do these things, own awareness, is definitely going to help you. It's definitely one of those barriers to cross in order to find your truth. Overcoming fear of the ego takes doing things that scare you. I actually did that on Friday. I'd never done, what do we call it? Reading, what is it? Gallery reading, where I'm standing in front of a group of people and I have to read each person. Just a short, like 5-10 minute reading. Boom, boom, boom. And first of all, I'm not used to doing readings that fast or with that many people around. And I think there's benefits to it, but I think there's also, I feel like I'm having deja vu right now. I think I've talked about this before. There's benefits to gallery readings, but I think there's also things that hold it back from really getting the most out of a reading. But I think it's a way for people to kind of dip their toe in the water when it comes to getting those kind of readings, both for the person giving the reading and the people receiving the reading. I'd never done one of those before. I was kind of worried about it, but once I was in it, it was like supernatural. Super and natural. I didn't mean to have so many meanings right there, but it did. So yeah, that would be my recommendation. And that's actually what I specialize in, is expanding your awareness of that kind of stuff. I think the big thing for when it comes to the soul abilities and having sort of an openness to it is understanding the basics, which is really what I dive into. I don't really talk about crystals. I don't talk about angels. I don't, like, I'm kind of bare bones utilitarian when it comes to this stuff. And I think when you go about soul abilities in this kind of way, it allows for people to open their possibilities a little bit more with it. But you also don't get caught up in sort of language that might not be appealing to you. Also the material side of spirituality. I'm just not down with material stuff. I can see how crystals could be beneficial, but I want the meat. You know what I mean? I want the meat. So check out nextgenmedium.com. I also have a podcast where I dive into this kind of stuff. And as the podcast progressed, it became much more for the more intermediate. So checking out the beginning of the podcast, I think, could help you out. Also, check out more of these vlog videos, because I think there's stuff in here that could resonate and maybe open up some ideas for you. And that's what this is all about. You taking the lead. You finding your purpose. You finding your truth. There's only one person that can do that. I don't care how many books you read and how many great ideas are out there. If it's not yours, if it doesn't align with you, and I think in some ways, if the truth doesn't come from you, then what kind of truth is it? That's where I'm at. nextgenmedium.com. Check out more videos. And thank you for watching. Also, if you want to take part more into your development, I would recommend that you go to nextgenmedium.com, sign up to be a member, and that way you can stream the whole podcast. Some of the podcast episodes are gated. I also have exercises and meditations for you to try as well that are a part of an e-guide that I created that you can purchase as a PDF or an EPUB or whatever. But as a member, you get those exercises and meditations for free. And all this stuff is to expose you to what you already know about your experience and maybe reframing it to see, wait a second, is this a possibility of my abilities having already shown through? And to work off of that knowledge. It's all about the references. It's all about the experiences. Wow, I never mean for these to go on for so long, but they do. Okay, I hope despite the lack of great audio in this video that the content was worth your time. And I hope to this person that this maybe gives you that possibility of going into that direction of exploring those soul abilities, because it has changed my life. And 3 years ago, I didn't know I could do that kind of stuff. So it's really changed how I see the world and what's important to me and priorities and missions. I have a mission now. I know what to do with myself now. All right. Good luck to you, and thank you for watching. Check out more videos.